Hello, everyone, and welcome to another game review from T90Official. Hope you guys are enjoying your time checking out my channel on YouTube, and we're going to be back with another review here. Like I said, you guys seem to be really enjoying these. I like to keep track of T90's progress as well. And he's playing up against DK, which is a very solid player from Argentina. He's playing in the blue as Vietnamese, and T90 is playing in red as Britons. And this is really cool, especially because this matchup is like Vietnamese is low-key the counter to Britons, right? Like low-key. But Britons can make some stuff happen. Like they have solid economy. They've got the extra range crossbows that could be pretty big. And we'll see what he can do. You know, it's not a bad civ. But I fully expect Vietnamese to, be the favorite here. So let's see. If T90 can win this, that's huge. Like it's a pretty hard matchup. It's not as bad as like Goth Mines, for example, in like late game. Like Mines can't win. But here, Vietnamese just tend to be slightly stronger because, of course, they got extra HP skirms. They get the Imperial skirm. They also have similar tools plus bomber cannon with siege engineers. So they tend to be slightly stronger for the most part here. Thank you, Dar Dandos and Cornelio, for the subs, guys, on Twitch. We are live on Twitch. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, by the way, come on down to Twitch, guys. Just check me out here. Link in the description. Also, I'm using a new microphone, and I've spent all day, like literally all day yesterday, configuring the sound. I hope it sounds good. If I don't sound like your local radio star, I will have to continue tweaking this because I got a really expensive microphone, and I swear to God, if it is not sounding like literally perfect, if anyone has even a single complaint, okay, I will go back in there and I'll fix it. All right? Or I will return the microphone and demand a refund. It didn't satisfy all the needs of my viewers. Give me a refund. I'm going to tell them like that, okay? But yeah, people are saying it sounds good here. Very nice. I'm totally kidding, by the way. I mean, like, I will continue tweaking it, but like, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Hello, Grismug. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. Appreciate it. My local radio star is a woman? Oh, okay. I can sound like a woman if I tried hard enough. But anyways, guys, let's focus up on the cast here. We got T90 pushing in some deer as the Britons. Let's take a look at his map. Ooh, drops a good luck. Okay. Yes. It's good. I like that. Good sportsmanship. Drops a good luck. But let's take a look a little bit at the map here because we do want to do some pretty nice analysis here. We have T90, of course, with a decent map. He's got a woodline on the front, woodline on the right. But again, I say decent because the left side, super exposed. Also, it's maybe even a bad map. 3 golds all kind of forward, right? So that's pretty, it's pretty abusable for Deeker. Also has the stone that's kind of, it's not exactly like forward towards its opponent, but it is pretty exposed. And I'm looking at like the greater map. I could see some stone walls here in like late game come up to defend. But aside from that, I don't feel like there's a whole lot T90 can do to defend this map. He might have to just play aggressive, which, like I said, compare like the map and the civ, this is a really big disadvantage for T90 right now. And if you go over to Deeker's side real quick, we'll see what he's working with. He's got a nice back gold here. Also, his woodline seems to be kind of similar to T90, where he's got like 2 woodlines, maybe like a third down here, but nothing else. The difference is, though, he's got his berries on the front here, and his gold on the back. So it's like a little bit different than T90. And it is worth mentioning this. Berries exposed hurts you a lot more in early game, but gold exposed hurts you a lot more in mid game. Okay? So like we're talking early feudal, berries are much more important than gold. But like late feudal, early castle, gold is way more important because obviously the berries will be done by then. So that's the difference. With Deeker having a forward berries, I want to see T90 attacking those. Okay? That would be really good. But let's see. I mean, both guys going to go up to feudal pretty fast. T90 is actually rocking an 18 pop here. 18 popper, pretty tight build. Don't know if he went for a little bit of a quick wall there. He's on 1 lumber camp, going for scouts. And I like how he's building here. This is a little thing here, but T90 is doing well for himself. Making the barracks in front of the gold is a really smart move. Because that's going to help him protect the gold naturally. You don't have to do like big walls. You just naturally protect the gold. You make your opponent have to go to the left, to the right. If he does that, you're going to see him. Like, look at the Fog of War after the barracks comes up, right? Like, T90 can make this barracks anywhere. It could have made it at the back of his base, right? I've seen some loyal legends. I know what some people do. Sometimes they make the barracks here. But well, why do that? When you make it on the front, look at the vision he's getting. That's going to naturally defend the gold. Stable would do the same thing. Gets him so much vision. So if Deeker, his opponent, is trying to pass through, T90 is going to spot him, okay? So naturally, this is going to help defend his gold. And he is going to go scouts. So if we just recap here, back berries means he doesn't need to defend his base a little bit, or in the early game. Actually, let's see if he's going to move the sheep here. That sheep, yeah. Oh, he did it. Oh, okay, not bad. Yeah, I was going to say, that sheep's a little far, but he moved it a little closer. Should it be like touching the villas, but that's okay. Little things, the small optimizations there. Yeah, as I was saying, the berries at the back, T90 doesn't have to worry about that. You could even start walling, maybe to this wood line. Maybe from here down here, that could be pretty good. And then the stable with some pressure here and some scouts can be really nice on his opponent. It is worth mentioning T90 did not get Horse Collar, whereas Deeker did. Obviously, the cheaper text for Vietnamese makes it a little easier to afford it. And we see Vietnamese player also going for some scouts. Now, T90 clearly winning the scout fight there. Interesting. You might be wondering why we see scout opening so often these days. The reality of it is, like, even with archer civs, sometimes opening scouts when you have such an open map is the way to go, because, if you just go archer opening and your opponent goes scouts, he'll attack you first, and then he'll switch into skirms before you have even a second to do damage with archers. So, stable opening is probably optimal in this kind of map for these civs, even though both of them want to switch onto range eventually, right? And this is a live game, by the way. So, like, how I'm reviewing these games, I'm literally just checking
Hera,
them
do you think
as they play live.
Underwhelming these days?
So, like, as T90 plays live, I review him. So right now, like, the players I'm reviewing for my YouTube channel is T90 and Viper, and I'm planning to mix in more players that are somewhat interesting to watch. So Viper, obviously, like, Viper does really crazy stuff. I think he's an entertaining guy to watch, and I think for T90, it's really interesting to see him as a player. Because I mentioned this earlier, but he doesn't stream a lot of his games, and a lot of people just don't know, the kind of level he brings to the table. T90 to lose the scouts, and T90 is a pretty freaking good player. So I think I would love to highlight just how good he is, because I'm a kind of guy that, like, I think I actually commend the casters who have really good game knowledge, and they gain that by playing. And T90 really upped his game over the last few years here. All right, good harassment with the scouts here. So I love to highlight that, to showcase that for you guys, the viewers, and I hope you guys find that interesting. But like I said, I hope to expand my reviews to, like, some lower level players as well, some average Andes at around 1K, maybe some, I don't know, some beast bobs at like 1600 yellows, something like that. Mix them up. And of course, some other players that are doing some cool stuff on the ranked ladder will get casted as well. All right, so what T90 has to be careful of here, he's fighting, right? But he's about to get walled in. I think Deeker knows about this. He's ready to make a gate. T90 takes a questionable fight there. I think he recognizes that he was going to get walled in, so he just took a random fight. But that was, like, clearly bad because there was spears closing in. So T90 just has to run at this point. The scout's not doing a whole lot. But in the meantime, because of all, like, the scout aggression that he had, he was able to fully wall his base. And all of a sudden, it's not looking too bad. Deeker, of course, has full walls himself. He did a good job defending. T90 has basically accepted that he will lose the scouts now, not really caring too much about it. Thank you, Mersalt, for the 2 months, and Anonymous for the gifted sub, by the way. So the question was, are archers underwhelming? These days, the pathing with archers is absolutely horrendous. So I would say yes, they're definitely underwhelming. I don't think they're unplayable, but, like, underwhelming is a good way to put it for sure. Oh, he's keeping the scouts alive. Actually, that villager is weak. Oh, brutal. That's unfortunate there. 2 scouts biting the dust. T90 was probably focused elsewhere. And it makes sense. He's making his range transition at home. 1 range only with a blacksmith. Now, you don't need multiple ranges with Britons, because their range produces slightly faster, 10% faster. Sometimes you can get away with just 1, but because we're adding it so late and we didn't open with it, maybe a second one would make sense here. Let's see if he goes for it. 2 ranges would be considered quite an aggressive switch up here. So now we see Deeker picking up Wheelbarrow, by the way. And he's going to go for a blacksmith. So he's looking to go up to Castle Age, and he doesn't have a single range transition himself. So he is either committing to Knights or just waiting to see what T90 goes for. And let's see what Deeker scouted. He scouted ranged blacksmith, So he's expecting some kind of archer transition. And T90 indeed goes to the second range. And oh, double mine camp. So this is going to be pretty aggressive. 2 ranges with Britons plus a stable with 2 mining camp is a pretty solid aggression. Pretty solid aggressive setup for Castle Age. Of course, if you're going to be dropping ranges, you're going to expect Deeker. He's a 2k3, 2k4 player. He knows what he's doing. He's going to go for a range in defense. He's going to be going for some skirmishers, which is very natural, especially with the Vietnamese. You know, you get the extra HP. They scale insanely well. Yeah, I think Deeker's in a great spot here. I really have no idea how T90's going to manage with the archers here. You know, you could say a forward siege workshop would be the perfect play here. I think that would be probably the way to go for T90 right now, because the forward siege, although we're not getting castle faster, but I think a forward siege would be the best option to counter the skirms here. You don't have to. I think if you just play some knights, it can be okay as well. But I think like the siege shot forward, you know, you can break a lot of buildings if you get some mangonels or some rams out. Second range from Deeker. Interesting. Really wants to commit onto skirmishers. He wants to hard counter what T90 is going to be going for right now. All right, T90 is going to pick up a couple spears. I mean, listen, like those spearmen, not too crazy at this point, but I'm the kind of opinion that I like to take away units from the field, because now it limits what Deeker can scout. Look at that, 1 scout down as well. Even though these units are like in quotes useless, Deeker now has less units to see what T90 is going to be going for. He's down to just 1 scout. Imagine he loses that. He's got nothing on the field. So I love picking up stray units. I think it's really nice. Just keeping an eye on the economy, guys. It's looking terrible back here. Terrible. We did pick up Horse Collar.
New mic sounds great, BTW.
But this is a really weird setup for our woodline. I mean, Britons have cheaper town centers, so we'll see if T90 goes for that. For now, opening with Bodkin Arrow. And he's going to be met with +2 armor skirms. Deeker's hard committing at the skirms. I would even say it's too much. Like, 2 ranges with full upgrades is a lot. But it just puts the onus on T90 to find a counter. Oh, thank you, Unsmart, for the 16 months, by the way. Glad you're enjoying the new mic. And thank you, Harry Darian, for the tier 1 sub as well. Appreciate it. Hello, Armor Trunks. Hope you enjoyed Christmas in Buenos Aires, man. Knight could go in here. T90 decides to go out here last second. Just not picking up crossbow. Oh, and we see a couple, or just 1 archer harassing Deeker a little bit. Deeker's going for a town center. He's losing some vills though. 1 vill down, maybe a second. Ooh, T90's finding some pressure here. This is good. This is good for him. Man, this matchup is like super hard. Like, I want to really stress this. It's like borderline unwinnable. Like I said, it's not unplayable. I think like it's solid, but it's borderline on that. It's definitely a really bad matchup for Britons. And we're about to see why. Look at these guys. 42 HP. Vietnamese have a great economy behind it. Horse Collar, Bowsaw, and Wheelbarrow are in. And T90 just has a few crossbows pretty much. Oh, but he is going to go for the forward siege. So he's making the plays happen. He just needs to escape with these crossbows. Super important. And he's going to the corner to hide, but Deeker spotted him. That's the use of scout, boys. I called it. That's the use of scout. It gets so much value. That's why I love to take away like the quote-unquote useless units. Oh, but T90 is a slippery one. Okay. He is a slippery one. But I think, yeah, Deeker caught scent of him there at the end. He's going to be chasing him. T90's going to have to run away. Making a second town center here. Again, I feel for T90 because his map is terrible. It barely has enough wood to even afford stuff. Meanwhile, Deeker's floating quite a bit of res. He needs to drop a siege workshop. Maybe a 3rd town center himself. Looks like he's gonna go for the 3rd town center. Boom, right there. Feels like T90 is a bit on a timer right now. Yeah, I think so. He's doing a good job with the knights to keep the expo safe. Grim's running away now. I really believe that T90 has to put pressure right now and catch Deeker before Deeker gets a town center on stone and gets a castle. I think if you get a castle, it's GG. because then Rattan Archers come out, which are like insanely hard to stop. And then obviously the castle counter siege push. Yeah, so T90 has to put his foot on the gas. But oh, he's putting his foot elsewhere. A third town center. No way. What? He's putting his foot on the brake. Why are we going forward siege to then add a third town center? Interesting. Now we go for the Mangonel. So maybe he's not going to go for a push. He just wants a bit of pressure while booming. But the issue with this approach though, right, is if we're going to be booming in a matchup where we guaranteed like lose late game, it's a bit of a questionable decision, you know? So maybe I would like to see T90 go a little bit harder into the pressure. But it is difficult when you have such a weird map back home. Let's see what he can find here. A few knights going in. Decides to actually go out right away. He was too scared of getting trapped. Let's see what Deeker's able to do here. Kills one archer. Now he's going to run away. There's a few knights there, but he's microing down pretty nicely. I mean, those knights, truthfully, are not that scary, right? They have only +1 armor. So T90 is actually losing those knights. Pretty cost inefficient there, if you ask me. Now Deeker's going to be kind of keeping an eye on those crossbows as well. Let's see. I have the Mangonel out now. Although it's not so simple, because that Mangonel has to be babysitted the entire time. Or is it babysat? I don't know. I guess babysitted sounds better. Because a knight can pop up and just kill it, right? If not. The skirms are going to be clearing up the crossbow. But hey, I mean, if we kill the skirms, that's an okay trade. I think T90 is pretty happy with that. And behind it, he does have 3 DC. Remember that. So his economy is not the best, but not bad. Ooh, University would be a huge mistake here. I feel like... do we really need ballistics? Is the question. We're rushing it down as well. 5 villagers. T90 really wants ballistics. I mean, listen, it's going to support the push quite nicely. I mean, I think crossbows get so much better with ballistics, especially with 8 range. But I feel like just getting more mangonels might be the better choice. That's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. If we get ballistics, that's going to be 1 less mangonel in the field. Let's see. Castle for Deeker. He went heavy on stone, as you can see, on both sides. Might have even used the market a little bit. But Deeker, he's like kind of dying. T90's making a really hard matchup look easy right now. Almost making it look like I'm wrong about the matchup. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm overrating Vietnamese here. Brits are going in. Those crossbows might find some kills. But you have to respect the castle as well. Don't lose the mangonels. Yeah. Brilliant. If T90 doesn't lose a mangonel, oh my god. Loses 1. Okay, adequate. We'll call it adequate. Not bad. A safer player might have not even committed there. Just kept his mangonels out in the front. But I'm happy he walked away with just, at least 1. Only lost 1 of those. It's not the end of the world. That castle's really good from Deeker. Defends his town center, his farms, and also his gold. So that's going to be a solid town center. Now we're going for heavy plow before ballistics. This is something I noticed, guys, actually, from T90. Notice he made the siege workshop, then he made a town center before making a barracks. Or sorry, what am I saying? I'm talking crazy. He made the siege workshop, then he made a town center before making the mangonel. Okay. Then he made the university, and now he's picking up heavy plow before he gets ballistics. You could have just delayed the university. We didn't have to rush it with 5 vills, you know? So it seems like he's sometimes a bit slow to go on his decisions. Or maybe he's questioning them. It's hard to say. But, I mean, he's in a good spot, I feel. Like he's got a little bit of a push. He's down only like a few vills. Obviously, Deeker has handcore, right? So a few vills plus handcore is a pretty big deal. Martin in chat is saying it's the jet lag. Yo, we don't talk about that enough, by the way. I'm just gonna say it, man. In NAC, a lot of people were talking about how Viper was tired because it was a late set. Like, yo, that might be true. Like, why don't we ever hear excuses about jet lag? You know what I mean? I'm traveling 14 hours. People, like, Hard came in with 14 hours. Not a word about jet lag. That shit hits pretty hard, to be honest. Sorry, it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. I went out and I said it, you know? We need to have a LAN event in my house the next time. Hera's apartment cup coming in. Feels good, man. I'm done with the long travels, man. Those things are brutal. Yeah, and Hart didn't even have his pre-workout though. You know that, right? Atomic? Oh, Atomic, thank you for stopping by the stream. I know, obviously, big header, you got a shout out on Nilly's stream the other day. That clout kind of gets to your head sometimes. I understand. You're famous now. Moving on to bigger and better.
Congrats, Hera. The hack tournament trophy.
Little birdie, thanks to the 11 months tier
Easy
1.
Kotka.
Thank you so much. Yeah, HAC coming in. Hera's Apartment Cup. Ooh, T90's going for forward castle, it seems, and he's about to click Imp. Deeker just clicked up to Imp himself, and he's also massing Rat and Archers. Guys, despite the score saying T90's winning, I think Deeker's in a better spot. Look at these guys. They've got 6 Pierce Armor and 6 attack. So it's basically an Elite Skirmisher plus a Genoese Crossbow. It's like a hybrid, except it doesn't have bonus damage against cavalry. So it's kind of like a crossbow elite skirm hybrid, I would say. Something like that. Talent, but no farm. Thanks to the tier 1 for 12 months. Appreciate it. T90's getting free reviews. Oh, he is. He should pay for these, maybe. He's paying with the YouTube views, maybe. Oh, T90. No, we lost 2. That's terrible. We lost 2 mangonels there, and those are the only things that can kill these guys. Look at those. They're so tanky. T90 wasn't looking for a second. That's a pretty big deal. Let's get the castle on the hill, though. I could see a world where we just snowball this with Arbalest plus maybe Elite Skirm plus Trebs, something like that. Hard to say, but we're losing a lot of our Arbalest before we even upgrade them. This is terrible news. This could be a huge throw. And honestly, I talk about this a lot, but like, I do a lot of coaching, right, on the side. And when I'm doing coaching, I always tell people, like, as soon as you're about to do something, like we're going forward castle and imp, don't do anything else until you do that. You know what I mean? So like T90 trying to like look for more with the crossbows there, definitely a mistake. Should have just camped his castle, and that's that. Kept it a bit more simple. Now we see DK up to imp. T90 lost basically half of his Arbalest. I say Arbalest, but there's still crossbows. Arbalest is an expensive upgrade these days. It's hard to get. You see a castle from Deeker. Love this castle. Really, really good castle there. It's going to defend his extra gold, a lot of woodlines, and a lot of space. This castle locks down that corner. And Deeker also went for another castle here. Like, Deeker's playing this super smart. I really like this.
Hey, Hera, congrats.
Thank you.
If that is the Lord of O2, you are at least the Duke. Long live the Candanian Duke of O2.
Candanian.
Do you plan on hosting another best of 21 tourney this year?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I'm going to be hosting a tournament this year. Obviously, plans might change, but I'm going to be putting most of my focus into consistent stream schedule and content creation on YouTube and stuff. I don't think I'm going to go for the tournament hosting route. Not for any reason other than the fact that I think there's already too many tournaments as is. So, like, I can't complain about the fact that there's too many tournaments and then also host my own. It was a little disingenuous. So I think there's already so much. I think the viewers have a lot to catch up on. So I'd rather just focus on my daily content and let's just try to win the tournaments that other people host as my main focus. Super Nintendo Chalmers, thanks to the Prime sub. The Rat Archer's looking for some damage. Remember, they can run through TCs at will, basically, and I don't know how T90 is going to deal with them. He's going to go Elite Skirm by the looks of things. That's a good choice. It's probably the only thing that could actually work. And what are we doing at the front? It's like we went for a forward castle, but we're not really using it for anything, which is a bit strange. The Champions Invitational doesn't work this year unless Hera wants to play himself. Oh, man. I mean, technically, I think Viper won a tournament last year as well. What do you mean, Viper? Best of 21? Settle it? Just a one-match tournament? We can make it happen. Good micro for T90. Look at that. Picking up a bomber cannon. Solid stuff. I don't know. I just feel like T90's not doing a whole lot on the front. And Deeker, he's done a really good job of like expanding his base and splitting it up a little bit. T90's gonna be clearing up this army at the back. Oh! That's such a nice moment there. The quick gate and they're just walking past it. Very nice. That's so funny, man. I mean, a quick walling can either look really good or look really bad. But even the skirmishers, they're like tickling the Rattan Archer. They do what? 2 damage? No, surely it's 3, right?
Me Pete.
Hello, Honor. Thank you for the 11 months, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Best of 365 and play 1 game every day. That's an amazing, amazing suggestion. You know why? You know why I love that suggestion of me versus Viper? Because finally Viper can stop dodging me on the ranked ladder. If I have to force him to play me one game a day, oh, I'd enjoy that. Oh, that would be amazing. I might even start, like, I don't know, drinking coffee just so I can say that I start my morning with a coffee and then I go into a nice afternoon with Viper and a 1v1. It would be nice. Actually, I had a really nice chat with Viper about content creation at the end, the day after NAC, actually. I really enjoyed that conversation. It was good. It was nothing special, but I enjoyed it. We kind of had like a I don't know, this is just kind of how things are talk. Ooh, we missed our shot. Now the cans will take us out. Oh, we got one more. T90, do you play ball or not? Oh my god, air ball again. 0 for 2, not a good look. And now this castle that we worked so hard to get in early imp, it's just gonna get trepped down. So it's like, not only did this castle not get us anything aggressive, it just feels like a wasted castle. And now because T90, he chose to boom in the mid game. Because he did that, now he's gonna have to face the consequences of his action. How do you stop Imperial skirms? I was worried about this since day one. But T90 seemed like he wasn't, you know, too cautious about it
Hi,
here.
Cham. How was the traveling back home?
And I'm not sure that T90's got the answers. Going Cavalier as Britons. I mean, I can see the appeal, but I'm not even convinced Cavalier is good enough here. A few Rathan Archers, for example, elite scrim to tank. I think the Cavalier won't do very much. Drunk Elk Satira, thanks to the tier 1 for 2 months. Appreciate it, man. This is really tough though. Like, T90 is forced to give up his entire front. 2 golds, only half eaten. Gonna have to go to the sides now. He has good pop, but like, it's Vietnamese late game, and Deeker has a better late game setup. More vills, has the siege, already has the castles on like important side hills. And T90 is going for like a desperate counterattack here with 42 range units, 21 scrims, 21 crossbow. He's gonna find a lot of damage though. That's a pretty good one. Wait, what? Oh, Deeker spotted him with an outpost. That's crazy. For a second, I was like, how did he know? But the outpost was amazing there from Deeker. Saves himself quite a few vills, no doubt. T90, where are your villagers? 6 on gold, 21 on stone, 30 on food, 19 on wood. I'm not very good at math. That's not 117. We're rocking some idols right now. Yeah, we got some idle vills. That's brutal. Yo, Deeker, you got a lot of gold, man. What the hell? That's crazy. Cavaliers are in, though. I mean, listen, Britain Cavalier, they're not the worst. They're not terrible. They have the last armor. They also have full attack, so they're only really missing bloodlines. Actually, Britain Cavalier are a lot better than people give them credit for.
41 months of Majestic.
Majestic Apex, thanks to the 41 months. Appreciate it. Monk doesn't get a conversion. Now T90 is going for some crazy rebooming in the corner. 2 town centers and a monastery coming up. Also going for some some fights on the left. But I mean, like, even downhill, the Imperial scrims are just way too good. Because they're 42 HP, right? And they have also 9 pierce armor. So everything does 1 damage to them, basically, except skirms. Do a bit extra. Yeah, I think imp skirms are just too efficient at killing range units here. Obviously, T90 will win this fight, but it's like not very cost efficient for him. He had many more units lost there, I believe. Deeker's taking his time with this as well. He's got some traps set up, got some cannons. Doesn't really want to use them too soon. Wants to bide his time. Doesn't have siege engineers. I feel like siege engineers is pretty important. I would say it's a key tech to pick up. Also, I would like to see Deeker just drop more farms as well. I mean, he does have 60, but I think going up to like 70, 80 farms could be good since you're rocking like light cav plus elite skirm. There's a lot of food needed for those. Now we see T90 switching to light cav. This is kind of why I don't really like Cavalier in general, by the way. Like, T90 made the whole Cavalier switch, right? To let everyone know, I'm going Cavalier. Oh my god, look at that guy. He's got Cavalier. He makes 10 of them, you know, 10, 15. And then he just switches off because they're so expensive. That's why I don't really like Cavalier for that same reason. I feel like every time I go Cavalier, I make a few of them and then I run out of gold. I'm just like, man, I should have went Hussar. It's like going for like a Ferrari, right? But you can't afford the Ferrari. So like you buy it, but you run into problems really fast and you can't repair it. You could have just went for the trusty Honda Civic. Fuel efficiency, that's the Hussar in this case. Fuel efficient, lasts you forever. You can always repair it. That would be much better than Cavalier, I feel, than the Ferrari, right? Oh my god, the stone shaft mining coming up. You're not doing that bad if you can even buy the Ferrari. I mean, like T90 bought the Ferrari, right? And everyone thought he was really cool, but then he stopped using it. He made how many? 15? He drove it 15 times? You're cool, but you're not that cool because now you got issues. I feel like I would have rather see like Arbalest coming out, you know? I don't know, but it's not like a T90 thing. It's not like a this game thing. I feel like it's in general, right? In general, I prefer to not go for Cavalier, at least these days. Oh, we see the light cap running up. Okay, maybe that's why we're not buying Honda Civics. Okay, the Honda Civic is not very reliable, I think. I think this analogy is getting carried away right now. Oh god, we just crashed 20 Honda Civics, didn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, this is just the late game, boys. Paper money's coming in. Deeker's even going for paper money. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this matchup is just so hard from the get-go. And T90 had a really bad map. I think like the only mistake fundamentally that T90 made was that he tried to add town centers. He should have went like one town center maybe, but like harder and faster on the push. That's what she said. But you know what I mean. You got to go as quickly as possible and make the push as impactful as you can right at the gate. Because if not, then your opponent gets the boom as well, right? If you go 3TC, your opponent goes 3TC, you're guaranteed to go into a late game. And this late game is just so unfavorable. I don't even think T90 is playing too bad. Like, he's setting up the castles on the hills. It's pretty solid. Like, this is a good late game setup. Oh, I really like this from Deeker, going for the stone walls. That's really smart, actually. He knows he wins late game, so he's just gonna force T90 to fight him in one spot. Yeah, I really like that, actually. Guys, more pro players should be doing this, by the way. I remember like 3 years ago, all the viewers would yell at me like, "Oh, Hera, oh, cannon dies. Like, you need to stonewall in late game." And I was like, "Nah, bro, I have no time. I have to micro. I have 3 expo. I have to micro them." That was like me 3 years ago, right? But these days, I love the stonewall. It's a little investment. Like, it costs like, 300 stone maybe, and it just gives you so much security. So obviously it's hard to get them up because like your opponent shouldn't let you go for them. But if you have the time to set them up, I think it's amazing. I think it was really good. Yeah, well played to Deeker. Rough game for T90. Again, I don't think he played too bad. I think he had like a solid pressure at some point in Castle Age, but the matchup and the map he had just made it really hard for him to, just have a chance in late game. So like I said, only mistake, his push wasn't as solid, and he was a bit too slow to go with it. So I had to go a lot faster with the push and make it a lot stronger. And in that case, he might have had a chance to win. Otherwise, Deeker cruises, goes for a late game. Deeker, great job from him, by the way. Set up his map beautifully. And yeah, just went for some really solid stonewall. So he takes the win. GG, well played. I have a score I like to give the guy I'm reviewing, in this case T90 at the end. But I forgot the criteria, so I'm going to do it for next game instead. Thanks for watching on YouTube if this makes it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.